Hello and welcome to my little presentation on Bali. And what I want to do with you right now is share with you my screen and take you on a journey to a beautiful land that I have been traveling to for the last 3 years. And now I hold retreats there for women, but I will be starting with men soon. And that's because Bali has this incredible, wholesome vibe. It's very spiritual. The people are just incredibly soulful, and the food is second to none, plus the sights. Anyway, without further ado, I will show you. I'll just flip over to my presentation, and actually before I do that, I have to share the screen. Share screen. Voila. So now you can actually see my screen and not just see my face. There we go. Now, I'll just, sorry, do the technical side here. Now, what I want you to do is imagine. This is where I woke up a couple of weeks ago. And I just want you to imagine the stillness and the incredible serene calm waking up in a place such as this. This photo that I took was about 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'd had this incredible restful sleep. I can't actually remember turning much from midnight till 6 when I did eventually get out of bed. A huge sparse bathroom and bedroom. It felt like a palace, to be honest. And then when, I got up and I stretched and I opened up my own little door and I had my own beautiful sweeping views over this valley. And then before our group started, I brought myself up to the communal area, which is where I took this photo. And this is just one of the 2 pools in this particular resort. And as you can see, there's not a drop of air. The air is calm, and it really does just make you feel very present, very serene, and very in the moment. Now, these are all photos I've taken on my phone or camera over the time, and this is dragon fruit cocktail that I had for breakfast one morning, and certainly full of antioxidants and lots of healthy things for you to draw up into your body. This is a land that will nourish your body like no other place I know. It's also a land where, and it's an island, so I call it, it's known as the Island of the Gods, but I call it Mother Bali. It's a land where you can see here, you just feel free. You stumble across these little alleyways and can just open up into a rice paddy field, or in this instance I just started following the river a little bit. Next thing I was on this incredible walk, and there's this beautiful swing in the paddock. Like, it's just amazing. Bali's for trying new stuff. It's for getting out of your comfort zone. And look, I'm a bit of a hack at surfing, as you can see here. And I'll give it a hack. I'll give it a go. I'll give everything in life a go. And it's the perfect environment to do that, because it is so gentle on your body and on your experiences. So what I want to share with you is how you can nourish your body and nourish your mind and nourish your soul. And I really do believe Bali is one of those places where it all comes together. I'm someone who's travelled to Europe multiple times, over 15 times, or maybe 12 times now. I haven't been to South America, but I've been to the States a few times, and all throughout Asia. But Bali definitely offers something cut above the rest, and I can't quite put my finger on the pulse, but it is truly remarkable. So I want to share that with you now. I am holding a retreat there in November, but this is for anybody who's thinking about going to Bali. It'll just give you some heads up. And what I want to cover is what I've discovered over my 12 visits there and holding multiple retreats now. I want to show you all about the food. I want to show you its incredible sights and temples, and I want to give you a sense of the transformational energy that can occur there, because it's look, it's available to all of us. You just need to get yourself there, whether you go on your own or with there aren't really many tour groups. You're better off coming on a retreat, but you just get yourself there. That's all I can say. Now, as I told you, I call it Bali Magic, or Mother Magic Bali. And her charm lies in the people. The people are just so spiritual. I'm going to introduce you to a few people, the food and the culture. And the weather is actually incredible, 24/7, 365 days a year. Now, who am I and why would you listen to anything that I've got to say? Well, I'm a mum of three. I've been a sole parent for many years now, and I run a business. It's based on the Gold Coast. I'm a naturopath and nutritionist. I was a nurse for many years. And I take people to Bali to do life transformational work, whether it's around health or relationships or just getting the best out of themselves. So that's what I get up to nowadays. These are just some pictures and things that I do. As I said, I travel all around the world. I've taken people on retreats to Nepal. I will talk about that on a different webinar. There's a couple of things with my kids. I'm perpetually traveling. I try and do 6 months at home, usually average about 5 months a year based on the coast, and 7 months a year here and 5 months traveling. I do believe we're here for a good time, not a long time. Along the way, I've written a couple of best-selling books. I'm a published author, and I'm well known for my information about women's hormones and modern-day traps like junk food and fast foods, and how we need to become physically resilient to those things. So that's a little bit about my background. What I do love teaching people is the art of self-nourishment. And I do believe inside all of us there's this incredible fountain of wealth of knowledge and respect and love and energy. And a lot of people just don't know how to either find it within themselves, or what we do is we draw on it so much that we forget to top it up from above, and it dries out. So, yeah, I specialise in nutrition and hormones, but what I really do at the end of the day is show people how to love themselves and how to tap into this innate, incredible fountain of resources that we all have inside. Excuse me, and also how to top it up. Sorry, just a little bit of a hummus burp. At the end of this, I want to show you how you can get on board with one of my retreats. As I said, I've got one coming up in November, and they're so much fun, and I'd love to have you along. But this is more, just to give you an idea about Bali, because a lot of people have ambivalence about it. So, okay, so this is the orientation. This is the island of Bali. It belongs to an archipelago of islands that now constitute Indonesia. And up until, I think it was 1946, the Indonesia came under the rule of the Dutch government, and then they were granted freedom or pardon or whatever, independence in 1949, and that's when Indonesia took over Bali. Prior to that, Bali had been its own island, and it's still, Balinese is still very different to main island Indonesians, and they still have very different culture. Balinese are about 80 to 85% Hindus, and so their religious and cultural background is way different to the Indonesians, who are predominantly Muslim. And you certainly get to experience that every single day. I wouldn't even say there's subtle differences. I find them quite major differences. But now Bali does fall under the Indonesian government. And for that reason, some people don't want to travel there because they don't agree with what the Indonesians are doing with Timor and Papua New Guinea. And I understand that. But I also understand that Bali still has, even though it's not its own sovereign country anymore, still has incredible soul, and the people there still need support. This is still a third world country. The food is amazing. This is from one of my favourite places called the Shady Shack. But you could spend, my retreats are up in Ubud, which is, I don't know if I can go back, but that's kind of in the middle of the island. And obviously around the fringe there's all these coastal funky beaches and towns. In Ubud, you could literally stay there a month and have breakfast, lunch and dinner at a different cafe and never eat at the same place again. You could also, at some of these organic vegetarian places, eat off the menu every single day for a month and never eat the same meal. They're just remarkably colourful and clean eating. It's just eating at its best. I truly adore it. And for this reason, Many of the world's best chefs come here, and on our retreat at night time, most of our meals, I take us to stunning restaurants, and oh look, it's the highlight of the retreat, but so many other things. But there's one place called Mosaic, which is unbelievable. It's this degustation menu where food just keeps coming out plate after plate, and it's just unbelievable, where they use the local spices and herbs and things that I've never even heard of. And as I said, I'm a foodie. I do all right on the food front. I just get stunned every time I go to that restaurant. But there are other restaurants I take you to as well that are just mouth-watering, mind-blowing, eye-goggling. The people are beautiful. These are some kids. So when I go there, and as part of the retreat and other activities I do in Bali, I support a local charity organisation called Soul Men. And this is one particular day when I went out with the bus, and we went to a family that was in need, and these are just some of the children that were there. They're just so beautiful. And Balinese Hindu. So Balinese Hindi or Hinduism is very different to Indian Hinduism. Well, I should say very different, but they believe in animation. So they believe that absolutely everything around you, the house, the table, the chair, everything you use in your life has a purpose, and therefore we should be grateful for it. And I totally concur with this. I really believe it's a beautiful philosophy, and for that reason, they're very grateful people. They're very spiritual people. So 3 times a day before they eat, they offer the gods offerings, and you'll see these scattered all around the place. They'll have little teddy bears in their cigarettes, and they'll spend a lot of time with these little presentation baskets, and it's a big part of their day. They're also very family orientated, and you'll see the mums and dads holding the babies all the time. I don't think the babies ever get put down. They're very well loved. Now, the sights are unbelievable. As I said, I've been there 12 times. I'm going back there tomorrow for the 13th, and already I know there's probably 10 new places I could go to. There's just so much to see there. This is the first time I went to this place was last visit, and it was a 1100-year-old meditation school. And I didn't even know it existed, and I've been there 11 times before this trip. It was up near Ubud. We went there on the retreat, and it was amazing. It's hard to imagine, but you can see the trees up the top. These are huge cliffs, and it was almost, I felt like I was going to Machu Picchu in South America. I just felt there was this incredible charm in the place, and it was steeped in history and just took your breath away. There's lots of temples there, and there's a big fat volcano, Mount Batu, in the middle of the island, which sometimes it's hard to see Mount Batu because it's often under cloud. These are one of my favourite, the tempura temples. It's chakra waterfalls, and I go here pretty much every visit, and you cleanse yourself along each fountain, ask for forgiveness of negative thoughts, and there's a process. And each time I do this, I come out, these are fresh running springs that are over 600 years old. Each time you come out, you just feel incredible weight lifted off your shoulders. This is the life transformational stuff that occurs on our retreats. But, if you're traveling, you can do it yourself. As I said, Mount Batu, often under cloud. This is an active volcano in the middle of the island. A couple of years ago, a big volcano on the main island of Java. Forgotten the name of it. But anyway, it was spewing and pluming. So planes couldn't get in and out of Bali for quite a few weeks. This one hasn't done that for a long time. When they say it is active, I think it's quite sleepy active. But, certainly you can see where the lava has trickled down and spewed out of the volcano over the years. Big fat basin in the middle, and definitely worth a look. This is down on the coastline, and this is where I'm going to tomorrow, actually, Canggu, and I'll just be staying up the road from here. I surf there. You can see on the left up the top, lots of surfers. It's on a reef. Most of Bali, the surrounding waters are on reefs, but, pretty safe to learn surfing on. There's temples everywhere. Don't get a shock. Like, the sand can be black, and unfortunately there's a lot of waste there, and this is why I'm very adamant about us collecting our plastic, because a lot of it ends up on these beaches and it's disgusting. Interesting. There are coral beaches though in Bali, and they're crystal clear sands and a beautiful pristine blue. So it just depends on what part of the island that you go to. As part of our retreat, we do a cooking class, and I'd highly recommend it if you're going there to sign up for one. The one we do up in Ubud, we go to the markets first and pick all our herbs, and then we go out and we spend a whole, pretty much large portion of the day cooking, and we eat what we cook, and we make this 8-course meal. And also one of the highlights, because Katuk, who takes it, is an absolute comedian, and everyone loves it, loves the cooking class. And you get to take the recipes home. So what are some of the other things that you might consider doing if you're going to Bali? You can do the cooking classes. As part of our retreat, we do the rafting, and this is just a picture of the rafting. You can see the river above, the AN River that we go on. Just stunning, absolutely just stunning. It's not a high-graded, like it's not heaps of rapids, so it's perfect for everybody. If you're taking your family there, you certainly can take your family on there too. We do optional, we do a lot of healing ourselves, but you also can, I'll show you a picture, I think, of Chotaray soon. There's some, you know, that Eat, Pray, Love movie. There are actually some very incredible healers up around Bali, and they're worth going to. There's something else, and they certainly, this is all transformational stuff. Seriously, each time you add layers to your visit to Bali, you come away with more growth, more spiritual connection to the planet and yourself. It's amazing, amazing. Ubud is very well known for its yoga, and a lot of people will go there to learn yoga. And I'm part of me going back this week because I'm doing my shamanic Reiki course, the second part to it. And there's we go to a brand new yoga barn up there. It's not the yoga barn; it's actually Ubud Yoga Centre. Fantastic! Like there's just so much on offer, and it's really introduces you in an exciting way to yoga. There's art classes, and we do an art class on our retreat, which is so much fun. A lot of people are like, I haven't done it for ages, and they end up adoring it. You can surf. There's heaps of adventure things you can do. And, of course, there's shopping, and shopping in Ubud's amazing, but also down in Seminyak, it's, you know, you can get a range from cheap stuff at markets up to very high-end shopping. If you're a shopper, you're not going to be disappointed. So good. I've got a picture of Chokaray, the guy up the top right, and he has people coming from all around the world to get and experience his healing. And this is me down the left at the Ubud Yoga Centre, and where I'm going back to this weekend. Just look at the background there, just with the backdrop. You can see this is new, only opened up last year, and that's one of the rooms, and it overlooks this valley and a river, and you just actually feel like you're part of the outdoor community. And the good thing about, or the outdoor rainforest, I should say, the good thing about this centre is it's air conditioned. So, you know, sometimes with yoga you get hot and flustered, or if you're going through menopause, the last thing you want to do is raise your body temperature. But this centre caters for that. It's awesome. I love it. So just turn that away a little bit. These are some of the locals. They're just beautiful, beautiful people. I just adore them. Okay, here's some travel tips. So what you actually need to know. They removed the need to pay for a visa last year. It used to be $25 US, but now everyone's entitled, I think everyone, this is definitely for Australians, you can get a 30-day visa. You can extend it for 90 days. You have to apply for that one. And after 90 days, you have to leave. So a lot of people do a little Singapore dash. I exchange my money when I'm there, but because I go there all the time, I always keep 100 Australian in rupiah, which is the local currency, the Indonesian rupiah. But I find that, you know, exchanging money in this country or any other country at the airport, you just lose so much in commission. So if you can get by, or get your driver to take you to a reputable exchange house, exchange your money. Now, it will vary, but generally, $1 Australian is worth 10,000 rupiah. Let me just see if I've got some in the drawer. Might have some here. Oh, fancy that. So these pink babies are about $10, which is 100,000. But it varies, of course, depending on the currency and that sort of thing. But that's a ballpark. When should you be bargaining, and when should you pay the ticket price? Well, if there's a ticket on it that has a price, that's what you pay. If there's no price on it, like at the markets, that's when you can bargain. And as a general rule of thumb, it's a bit of fun. They'll be a bit staunch with you to start with, but it'll all end up in hugs and cuddles and selfies and things. So go in at least about a third. So if something's $10, you know, say it's a wraparound skirt and they're asking $10, say no, too much, 30,000. And they'll go, oh, no, miss, I pay 30,000. You go, no, you didn't. And they'll ask you to go up more, and they'll ask you to go to 7. And you go, no, you know, maybe you're prepared to pay $5, which is 50,000. Go 50,000. They'll go, no, more, 60,000. And at that point, you just walk away, and you'll get your bargain or your price. So go in. You could probably go in at a quarter, but you know, you want to keep dignity and you want it to be fun. And at the end of it, it often is a lot of fun. When to tip? I'll often tip. Always good service, just like anywhere in the world. Just because it's not culturally what we do in Australia, well, I think it should be. Anyone who gives you any good service and you've got the extra coin, why not tip? Drivers, I usually tip. Anyone who gives you good service, whether you're learning to surf or you've been on a tour, the money goes a long way over there. So it doesn't have to be much, $5-10, and it's just a beautiful way of saying thank you. Some health considerations, and there are a few. This is a probiotic that I take when I travel there. Bali belly is very real, and usually I budget on getting about each time I go, but now I know to take charcoal and a probiotic, and that will get rid of it. And I just take those until I have got on top of it. Water, now you can buy over there. Most hotels provide it filtered, and they buy it in big vats that's been filtered. But you just, there's a really big problem over there with plastic bottles, as there is everywhere in the world. So maybe take a stainless steel one or buy one. You know, it might cost you $20, but use that, refill it from the hotel where you know the water's been fine. You can use purification, but I don't know that you need it anymore. And keep water levels up because it is hot over there. They've got a wet season and a dry season. The dry season is still fairly warm. On the coastline, it's anywhere from 25, 28. Up in Ubud, it's, you know, really cool 25, and at night it'll get a lot cooler than that. You definitely need insurance. This is a third world country. I had a very bad experience there 2 years ago now, where my mate picked me up from the airport, and we got another bike collided with our bike and just smashed my toes. Went to hospital. I thought my travel card insurance, you know, you pay with credit card, I thought that was going to cover it, but it didn't because I hadn't spent the minimal amount on the credit card towards the holiday. Anyway, long story short, it cost me $10,000 out of pocket. And this is me, who had travel experience forever. This particular time, it bit me on the bum. So make sure your insurance covers you for Bali. If you're going to be riding scooters, make sure it covers you for scooters because that's when a lot of the accidents happen. And it might not be you, it might just be someone colliding with you or running over your foot. Just be really aware of it because there's a lot of people there who've never ridden scooters and they get on, and this is pre-alcohol, and they've got no idea, and they'll just plow over your feet. So be very aware, look left and right, and just always have your wits about you when you're on the roads. The food generally is pretty safe, but I don't eat off the streets, although when I'm with my driver, Joe, I don't want to insult him, and if it's been deep fried and cooked up on the spot, sometimes I'll eat it. But generally, you want food that's been cooked in front of you. You want, you know, a cleanish sort of kitchen space. You don't want it to be out the back. There's no need. There's so many good, healthy, sanitised places there to eat, so don't put yourself at risk. Worms and parasites, worms are in all uncooked meat. So if you eat sushi, it's going to be there in Bali or Australia. It doesn't matter. Parasites, worms, same deal in a lot of meats and probably in your gut. And, my dog's not here, but if you've got a pet, you probably already have a nice little range of parasites or worms inside your tummy. You can take anti-worming stuff while you're there, or just worm yourself when you get back. Now, these last two and other tropical diseases, typhoid, malaria, dengue, they're all quite different. But these two I've listed here because they're quite prevalent in Bali, and they're mosquito-borne diseases, and it's a real tricky one. I don't protect. I take precautions. I take a tea tree oil spray as a deterrent. But the malaria mosquito is out on as the sun's setting on dusk, and you'll get bitten by then. Dengue are tiny little mosquitoes that are out during the day. So, how do you know? And both of those things affect people every single day. You probably at this point, I'll put the clause in, go and ask a travel doctor, ask their advice, gather your information, and you make the decision that feels best for you. I don't want to jinx myself, but I don't even know if I've become resistant to malaria, but the prophylactic for malaria is usually doxycycline or another tablet, and there are precautions with both of those because they make you sunburnt if you go into the sun. That doesn't suit me. And dengue fever, go and see what is available there. And, if you're going to go and work there for 3 months and you're going to be amongst sewage, you want a Hep A. That makes sense. So, do your own research, go and see a travel medicine doctor and see what they've got to say, see what's active there, and find the level that feels comfortable for you. What to pack? It's pretty warm most of the time, even in Ubud where it can get quite cool. I could wear something like this up in Ubud, but down on the coast I'd be quite warm. This is the sort of gear I get around in on the coast. As you can see, it's pretty cash. And that's acceptable fare. Like most people get around in that sort of stuff over there and no one's offended. If you go into a temple though, you've got to wear a sarong, and guys as well. And I just out of respect will wear a sarong wrapped around my shoulders. You definitely need swimmers because hopefully you've got a villa that's got a pool. The beach is safe to swim in, although very sucky. So if you're not a great swimmer, stick to pools. You'll need shorts, hat if you want to protect your face from the sun. I don't, but others do. Sunblock, mozzie protection, and remember that charcoal and probiotic I was talking about. I have got a whole range of ideas here on my travel blog, which is called natureandbubbles.com. So just copy that URL, natureandbubbles.com, and check out. You can put in Bali up the top or travel ideas, and there's plenty there. Certainly on my Facebook page as well. If you go into the videos, I've got heaps of live videos that I've done from Bali on all sorts of different topics. Okie dokes, getting there and getting away. There are quite a few airlines now that fly there. There's Jetstar and Melinda Air, which is the cheaper airline for Malaysian Air. There's Scoot, I think, even Air Asia, and Virgin. So there's Garuda. There's the stack of planes that will travel there. It's international travel. So, the 100 mil lag restrictions and other things apply. You don't want to be foolish going into Bali and take stuff that you shouldn't take. People get locked up for bringing drugs in, and you don't want to take live animals out. The same deal, you're going to get locked up. So why do it? It's just, that's flirting with the dark side of life, and there's no need to do that. In terms of accommodation, there's heaps of different places you can stay in. There's villas, which are incredible places you can get to yourself with a nice pool. Or there's resorts. You can stay in villas. I'm thinking about staying one tomorrow night that has 6 rooms and a central pool, and they make you incredible breakfasts. And they're, around about $50 mark. So there's lots of options. You can get close to the beach, you can get up in Ubud. There's just so much in terms of accommodation choice. You can even stay with families and off the beaten track and get away with that for really cheap. This is a very typical street scene here, which, as I said, it's third world. But once you get your head around the fact that there's no footpaths and there's industry going on everywhere and that your toes can get run over by bikes, and you've got to watch out for that. Once you get your head around that, you stop seeing the ugliness and you just see this incredible land of beauty and happy faces. It's always good. And people saying summer, summer, which means you're welcome. Okay, so now if you're not 100% hell-bent on going on your own, come on one of my retreats. So they run for 6 days and 5 nights, and at the moment I hold them up in Ubud, up in the middle. There's a variety of themes. I've got a nourishment one, and I'm about to launch an adventure one, which is part of why I'm going over there this visit, to see what's happening on the adventure scene. There's lots of pros and cons about travelling on a retreat, and I want to cover them here because I don't want, it's hard to paint up someone's expectation, but the advantages of coming on a retreat, particularly with someone like me, is I've been there a lot. I take a lot of that headache out, and from the minute you touch down at the airport, my driver, Joe, will pick you up. He becomes everyone's best friend. He's a top bloke, and I've got a couple of other drivers I use as well. But from that point, you don't have to worry about a thing. In fact, once you board the plane, wherever you're boarding from, just switch off, because everything's kind of covered from that point forward. You just have to watch those bikes not running over your toes. I've organised most of the activities. I've organised the accommodation. I've organised the food. And I tell you a lot about the experience and what to expect. And I protect you from a lot of the ugly stuff, and I expose you to a lot of the things that mainstream travellers don't get. So we do a lot of life transformation work there as well. So over 4 days we do life coaching sessions by the pool, and people adore it. They literally transform their lives, and plenty of testimonials for people who've been on my retreats and what you can expect from that regard. The disadvantage of coming on a retreat is, you know, if you want to do your own thing, you might not have the freedom to do that, but certainly we do have a day, an afternoon off where you can travel and do shop, do your own thing. But you might want to stay on a couple of days extra if that's your thing, and you might just want to use the retreat either to nourish yourself or to have someone look after you in a no-brainer activity. You and your girlfriend might want to go on one where you know everything's done for you, or you might just want a really easy introduction to Bali and then stay on a couple of days on your own. We stay up in Ubud, as I said, and we do a range of activities. So we get massages, I look after all the restaurants, the brekkie, we do some yoga, cooking class, rafting class, visit temples, chakra waterfalls, life coaching sessions, eating experiences. What have I missed? Did I say rafting? We've got time and the clouds are in our favours. We'll go to the volcano. Sometimes we'll just fill in that space with temples. Like, there is no shortage of activities to do. Plenty of walks if you want to do walks. There's just so much. It's just amazing. But that's the core of my retreats. The whole idea is to teach you how to self-nourish, to find that fountain of incredible joy and love and self-nourishment within you, because it is within you. This was me last time on the left on the Ain River. This is a ramen carving which is over 500 years old. This is the middle slide is a restaurant that we go to, Bridges, amazing food, amazing. And that's Joe, our driver. So why coming on a retreat with me will change your life? Take the worry out of everything from touchdown to lift off again, and we drop you back at the airport. You can be totally nourished, and I'll show you how to self-nourish once you come back home. We've got those life coaching sessions where we address your values and what, if there's anxieties in your life, why that might be occurring. We work out your needs, and this is really important, particularly if you're at a crossroad and you're not too sure what you should be saying yes to and what you should be saying no to. And I'll teach you how you can put yourself first, because a lot of people really grapple with that. But once you give yourself permission, everything else just rolls out magnificently. There's a big story behind this picture on the left. It's a Wurrung, which is named for a restaurant, up behind Ubud in the middle of the rice paddy fields. And I came across it a couple of visits ago. And last time they bought one of my paintings, and we raised some really hard and well-earned money for a family I support there. The guy's he's not even in a wheelchair. He's a quadriplegic, can't leave his room. So I raise money for them every time I go to Bali. And oh, look, it's a beautiful, soulful, magic place. So I invite you to spoil yourself, give yourself permission to come on one of my retreats. I suspect, like everyone has been before you, you'll love it, you'll adore it, you won't look back. I want to show you, so I still wanted to share my screen. I just wanted to show you this. So this is the current retreat, the 13th to the 18th of November this year, up in Ubud. Everything's listed there, pretty much what I've just gone through. If you get in soon, you get a couple of $100 off for the early bookers, and this will book up. So if you're serious and you would like to come along, share screen now. So this is the URL here. It's just me chatting. Just go to Sambo Patrick /retreats, and all the information's there. So get in. I'd love to have you along to a retreat. We do a screening phone call before you come along, just so you get the heads up on what to expect, and make sure there's no surprises for you. But get in soon. This will book up, and I'd love you to come along with me. So I hope you really enjoyed that. And if you've got any questions, just post them on the Facebook page or contact me directly at sam@sambopatrick.com. This year I'm doing, we're going to Bali in November. Early next year, January, February, I'm taking a group to Nepal. It's a totally different experience, and I will be holding a webinar about Nepal. It's for people who've done a bit of travel, and if you haven't, I'd prefer you watch the webinar, because it's a very different travel experience. And I also hold retreats to Italy. So, but I'd love to have you along on the Bali one, and please share this with anyone you think might be wanting to travel there and know a little bit more about it. And yeah, I hope you found it useful. See you. Thanks for listening. Bye.